So welcome back to some more MX versus ATV Alive. Thank you so much for the support on that last video. Remember, this is a series based off of all of your support, so if you want to see more, make sure to leave a like on this video and let me know in the comments, and we'll keep this series going. But today we are going to jump into the James Stewart Compound. I'm going to run a lap here on the south track, then we'll move to the north track, and then I think we run 2 laps on the north track, and then we will move to the pro loop. Now, none of these lines are that great. I'm not very good at the game. People have stated that I'm not good at the game. I know this, okay? I know this. So trust me, you're not gonna hurt my feelings by saying I'm not good. I'm just, this game, okay, I didn't play this game very much because it was probably the one I played least. Not because I didn't like it, but because I actually never hit level 50 in the beginning. I had a different Xbox, different gamer tag, different everything. I borrowed the game out to a friend, never actually got it back, ended up getting a different live account and a different Xbox, had to rebuy the game and then start over. So I just hit level 50 Superstar, I think it's what it's called, or Megastar, I don't remember exactly. And that's the first time I've ever done that because I never finished it the first time around. So I just didn't have a lot of playtime in the game. And I think for me, something that made me, what I didn't like about the game is what I love about the game at the same time. This one, I mean, it's extremely arcadey, of course, all of them are, but this game felt like it was kind of tough to find a good flow. Sometimes, you know, all these games are, if you're not having a good flow, the game can be a little rough, a little rage-inducing. But once you find that flow and get to that level, it's so smooth. The whips and the scrubs are really good in this game too, I think. So what annoyed me about when I didn't have flow and just was casing everything and not carrying any speed is something that I did like about the game as well, because it made it a little bit tougher, I think. So that's kind of how I feel about Alive. It's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite. And yes, partly because I just was never that good at this one. And maybe if I keep playing it, I will get better. I just didn't get enough time into the game, I think, is the main problem. I should have never borrowed that game away. Maybe things would have been different, but we are going to run one more lap here, and then we will cut to the pro loop. And 2 things I wanted to talk about. This is a post commentary. I almost forgot. This is a post commentary, but there are 2 specific things I wanted to talk about. One, what is your favorite MX versus ATV game? I know there's a lot of people, like 2 of the big ones I think are obviously Reflex. There's a lot of people that have voiced opinion for bring back Reflex 2, remaster Reflex, blah 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 blah. Now, I'm not as vocal as a lot of people, but I honestly must say that Reflex is probably my favorite MX game of all time. It just worked so well. The fact that there was no preload I liked a lot. I mean, in all these games you have to carry tons of momentum and you can hit these huge lines and stuff like Supercross Encore. It's not even believable, but it's still about carrying momentum. But it just felt different in Reflex. Like the way you did it in Reflex it just worked really good. And I like that there was no preload. I like MX games when there really isn't much. I mean, even with MX GP, they have like that small subtle preload, but it's not like a game changer. So a little preload like that isn't a big deal. Even in this game, it wasn't that bad. I mean, you can't really see it because I turned the HUD off because I thought it looked cooler since we're doing a post commentary, but it just was different, and I think it worked really well for this game, and I think that's why people like this game so much. I know a lot liked Alive as well, but I'm pretty sure I feel like Reflex was probably loved by more people than any other MX vs. ATV game. Now, MX Unleashed, or MX vs. ATV Unleashed, depending on which one you played, I know there's a lot of love out there for that game too, so if I had to make a bold statement, I'd say Reflex. Just an opinion, just a guess, okay? This isn't fact, but I would guess that Reflex or Unleashed, whether it was MX Unleashed or MX vs. ATV Unleashed, were some of people's absolute favorites. Now, I know people loved Alive and loved Untamed and, you know, all that, and I know there's some people that really love Supercross. Now, I actually really do like Supercross Encore, and it's because after playing it for 2 years, going on 3 years, however long it's been, you just, I don't know, once you get decent in a game, you end up kind of liking it. But I can say it's not my favorite one. It's not my favorite one. It's the one I play the most, but it's not my favorite one. Now, that kind of takes us into the second thing I wanted to talk about, was the possibility of a new MX versus ATV game. Now, I don't know exactly when this video will get uploaded. I really have no clue, because it could be uploaded a day or 2 after I make it, or it could be months after I get this video recorded, because it's totally based on how the last video did. So I don't really upload until I feel like that last one, you know, it seemed like there was enough people that wanted to see another one. So by the time this gets out and onto the internet, we might know a whole lot more about the possibility of a new MX vs. ATV game. But as of recording this, there really isn't too much information. There is a little bit. Now, I don't know if the little information we have, if it's just going to be... I highly doubt it's DLC for Supercross Encore. I feel like they're actually working on a new game. Now, I could be wrong, and by the time this comes out, if there is something you know that I don't, feel free to leave it in the comments and correct me. But I feel like they're making a new game. I'm not sure what they're doing. I really hope it's something new from the ground up, because I feel like with Supercross and Supercross Encore, I know they said it was supposed to be a mix between Reflex and Untamed. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that at all. To me, it felt like it was like a updated version of Alive. Now, I know some people would say no, or not for the best maybe, but I feel like it took a lot from Alive and maybe a little bit from Untamed, but not very much from Reflex, aside from the fact that you're using Reflex controls. That's really all I noticed from Reflex from Supercross Encore and Supercross. So I hope whatever they do, on top of the fact that they added in the Alive tracks and a few other odds and ends, I hope they do something from the ground up. I know that people are asking for Reflex Remastered, Reflex 2, but they have stated that somehow, somewhere along the lines, that code was lost, I guess. So I guessed that code was lost. So I don't know how easy that's going to be. I just hope it's something totally new, not based off something else, unless they did somehow base it off of Reflex. But from what I've heard from them, it just doesn't really sound like that's going to be possible unless they find a way to basically like redo the code for Reflex. I don't know. I'm not a game programmer. That's just what I've heard and what I understand from the situation. So hopefully we can get a game from the ground up new with they don't reuse anything, because I don't want to see tracks from Supercross Encore in the next game. I want to see new stuff. Totally new stuff. New gear, the new bikes. I mean, it'll be DLC probably, because that's what games do nowadays, but that's what I hope to see, you know. And it'd be cool to see oh, check this out. Oh, no, that's a front flip. That one's not so bad. The front flip. This next one, we do the rider does a backflip, and then it goes straight into a bike backflip at the same time. It was so cool. I know some guys can do it easily, but that took me forever to try and get that. I was bound and determined to do it. And then we hop into mini moto. But I hope they do something new from the ground up, and I hope if they release DLC, I hope they can release like the Supercross replicas from the year before or whatever, or the same year, because they did it with Encore, and the national replicas. That's what I'm hoping for, that they can at least do that. Give us both of them instead of just one. Now, I'm not complaining. I was happy with the replica tracks in Supercross Encore, but that's one thing that I'd like to see, as well as I know a lot of people like the preload, but I'd like to see us go back to no preload. I don't know. Those are just some of my thoughts. I have a lot more, but I don't have enough time for this video, so maybe we can talk about it next time. If you want to see more Alive, make sure to hit that like button, and we'll keep going with it. It's totally based on all of your support, so if you want more, leave a like and let me know in the comments, and we can go from there. Also, let me know what you think the next MX vs. ATV game would be like, as well as what you would like to see from that next MX vs. ATV game. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on this series and the channel in general. And until the next video, take it easy.